Good morning, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. This is Dave with Dave's Acrylic Pouring. Hey, I keep seeing the same question being asked on some of the Facebook forums I'm following. Is the consistency, paint consistency? It's like a question that I see almost on a daily. So I thought I'd do one more tutorial. And this one's I'm going to do a Dutch pour today, but I'm going to do the step by step. Minus one step, of course, because I've already done my medium. But I'm going to do a step-by-step on exactly how I'm mixing for a Dutch pour. Now this medium right here, I've done 50% of Gluol and 50% of Flood Floetrol, and I've mixed them together, and you can see that it is extremely fluid mixture. It doesn't leave a bump on the top. It almost immediately dissipates into the mix, and that is a decent fluid medium. All right, so we're going to get our cup. Got it at my scale here. Excuse me. We're going to add 1 ounce or 1.02 ounce of our medium mixture, and then we're going to go to 1.2. I went a little over because it was at 1.02 to begin with, so we want about 0.2 ounce of the paint itself. Okay, on this particular color, I'm going to add a little bit iridescent medium. Okay, and we're going to mix that up. Mix well, make sure you scrape the sides. Okay. Now my last step, you can see that I reuse my cups, so that paint is dry in there. It's no biggie. But the last step in the paint is to strain it. Make sure that when you open your cap and you put your paint in there, that some of that dried stuff that's on the inside of the cap right here, that stuff doesn't come off in your paint mixture and end up on your painting, or any Floetrol boogers or anything like that. I'm trying to get the right angle so I'm not blocking the view with my arm. Now, when you're new at doing this, consistency, not only in the actual paint itself, but consistent as far as how you're making your fluid paint, or how fluid you're making your paint, excuse me, is very important. You need to be consistent, because if you're doing most of the pours and you have different consistencies of paint, they're not going to flow right on your canvas, and you're going to end up with some paint that's running faster and other paint that's really moving slow and causing almost like a dam effect, blocking the other paints from moving. Okay. As you can see, it's not really leaving a mound behind. And what I mean by that is, as the drip is hitting the paint down here, if it leaves a little bit of a bump and stays there for a second or more, then your paint is not as fluid as it needs to be. So you want to make it consistent to where as it rolls off of your popsicle stick and lands into the cup, it almost immediately dissipates into the rest of the paint. You see that? Okay. Mix that. This. Alright, let's do this again. Let that sit. Alright. Got my scale. And like I said, it's very important when you're starting, and you can't really eyeball your mixtures. Like you can't, just see exactly how much you need to put in. You're used to it. Use a scale. That way, as you're mixing, it's consistent. Now, the other thing that you need to keep into consideration is that as paint gets older, it's going to start to dry a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit thicker. So after you've done all this portion of it, and your consistency is still a little bit thick, you can add some water to the mixture. I like to add filtered water because I don't want anything that comes out of your tap to get into my paint. Alright, so we're going to go with 1 ounce again. Oh, looks like we're a little over again. Okay, that's fine. Let's go with, this is cobalt blue. Okay. Same thing, I'm going to actually add a little bit of iridescent medium to this color as well. Alright. And we're going to mix thoroughly. See how there's white on the sides? Make sure you scrape the sides. That way you're getting 100% mixture. And also in the bottom of the cup, really get down in those edges to really mix everything together. And that's why I like using these clear plastic cups, because I can see what's going on in the mixture. Okay, you can see that this consistency is a little tiny bit thicker than the other one that we just did. This paint is a little bit older than the other one, so it was a prime example to use this one. It is actually leaving a little bit of a mound before it dissipates, but it's only like a fraction of a second. So I'm going to get some filtered water out of the refrigerator. Alright, and I'm going to put just a couple drips in there. Well, that's a lot more than a couple drips. But the consistency is back to where it needs to be. See, it's immediately dissipating in the paint. Okay, and then It's allergy season. All right. See that? See how it immediately dissipates? It rolls off of the popsicle stick very easily. Alright. And that is it. That is the consistencies that you need to use when you're doing your Dutch pours, or quite a few other pours actually. So, alright, keep it up guys. Remember, you got to keep practicing on mixing your paints and everything so that you can get better. Use a scale to begin with, just so that you can get used to proportions and how things work. And that's it. Thanks for watching guys. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Hit that notification bell and throw a like. It really helps the channel to grow. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Remember, pour on.